Hi, my name is Adam. I've been a woodworker for 30 years. I'm going to make a video today about the myth that's been floating around the internet, and I'm not sure where it started from, that biscuits aren't a strong joint and they're only for alignment. Mostly I build custom kitchens these days, and every cabinet I do is put together with a biscuit. Never had a problem. They never fall apart. It's never an issue. Now, if you're edge gluing boards together, yeah, they are not going to make the joint any stronger. But when you're putting plywood, MDF, any kind of panel board together, biscuits are a wonderful, fast, and strong way to do it. And I'll even attest, I personally think they're stronger than a domino. But let me show you how my process, and we'll glue it up. And then after it's done, I'll break the joint apart and show you how strong it actually is. So let's get started. So this is the joiner that I use. It's a Lamello Classic X. It's been the most accurate joiner I've ever had. I've used every other brand there is. This one is pretty much dead on. It's like 4 years old now. And I love the fact it's got this auxiliary fence here. And I'll show you how that's good in a second here. You slip this guy on here like that. You know, for doing this is just for simple tasks. Slip it in, and then I set it. This is for your standard biscuits, for 90-degree biscuits. Okay, so that's how our joiner is. I know this is a pricey joiner compared to what most people are using, but for me, accuracy is most critical. It costs more in the short term, but it makes me a lot more money in the end. It's very simple. We're just going to do a 90-degree joint here today. Put it together like this. Now, this is pre-finished plywood. It's what I use mostly, 3/4. And so you just lay out. I have a method. I go 2, 8. This would be as simple of how you would normally do a side cabinet side. This is the same dimension as a normal cabinet side. So you lay out, this is your flat piece here. You lay out you put your marks on the top. And obviously, this side here. So these ones here got to go down, because this will be your end cut. So again, you just put it on the end here. And I do this pattern always referencing off the same side so they're the same. So now this is where this joiner makes things awesome. That's why I love this joiner. So it's got this fence on here. So now instead of having to hold it up or clamp it, I can lay it flat on the bench just like this. I've got this back fence on it, and I just line up my mark. I don't know if you can see or not. Turn the joint on. Line up the mark. You work your way down. Now, as you can see, I've got 4 biscuits, perfect alignment here. And now we're going to do the end cut. Now this we cut differently. This one's going to cut flat, so now we cut it biscuit joiner up like this. And cutting along our mark. And just that quickly, we now have a joint. Now, we're going to glue this joint up now. These are biscuits. I mean, we could test this, but I'll show you how well it aligns. Actually, this is why the Lamello machine is so fabulous. I mean, if you can see, that joint is perfectly aligned. I mean, there's 1/28 of an inch. So now we're going to glue it up. Now how I glue is I use this mini caul. It's called glue bottle, and I like it because it's got a tip on it. This fits inside the biscuit slot, and it puts glue on both sides. It squirts glue out on both sides, so this gives you really good coverage really easily. So that's part of the reason why I think people don't think biscuits are strong, because if you don't glue them properly and don't get the proper amount of glue on them, they could give you an issue. But a bottle like this makes it perfect. Stand that back up. Now we pop our biscuits in here. It doesn't really matter which way you put them in. So now we line up our piece here. Pop it in. What's nice about biscuits too is just you've got some alignment this way. So if your panel's not perfect, you can just kind of, if the slots are hair off, it's okay. So you can work around it. So now we'll just clamp this up. Throw some clamps on this guy. And actually, most of the time I will put, it's a little harder to do when you're doing just a 90 degree. Just pushing it forward. When I do a carcass, it's a lot easier than, we may end up having to clamp this to the bench upside down. There we go. Perfect. Good. And that's simple. And we'll come back in a little bit, and once that's dry, and then I'll try to break it apart. Okay, so now our panel is all dried, glue is set up, it's been a couple hours. We're going to unclamp it right now, and then we will test, see how we did, and make sure that the joint stays together. All right. Okay. So now, I mean, feels pretty strong here. Looks strong. I mean, I'm wiggling, it's not wiggling. And then again, you know, when you put a carcass together, there's 4 sides, it's even stronger. So let's see how this goes. Jesus. Hang on, let me try some gloves to hold on to the piece. I mean, I don't know how much stronger you need. Yeah, you can get it apart, but I mean, you can see as I beat this thing, I mean, there's no fasteners other than biscuits. It's starting to break here, but actually, if you can look, the plywood itself is actually breaking where the biscuit is. I'll get it apart. Okay. We did break it. Let me show you how this broke, though. I mean, that held that together. And that's just off the biscuits. You can see there's no glue here. So the only thing glued was the biscuits. It broke the biscuits in the plywood. This one didn't glue. I mean, it's absolutely strong. There's no question about it. You know, and that's what frustrates me when I hear people saying that, they're only for alignment. Biscuits are no good for a joint. Well, that's just untrue. I mean, I just proved it to you. I really think, honestly, that these are stronger than domino. Dominoes are shorter, and they don't have as much glue surface area. Plus, thank you for watching the video. I hope that I was able to explain well enough that biscuits are certainly a strong enough joint to put together, and they're just not for an alignment. They're great for carcasses. I've been doing this for 30 years. This is how I put my carcasses together. I have a whole system, and possibly I'll make a video someday of my process of how I put a carcass together. I've seen a lot of different people do carcasses. Everybody has their own way. Do they all work? Absolutely. This process I use is, for me, I've found is the quickest and easiest to do. One of the advantages of biscuits is the fact that they have a lot of glue surface area. Even though you don't think so, they are wide, and they got a lot of surface area for glue. But on top of that, they swell up, and you get a mechanical strength too, because they compress them when they make them. After they make them, they're compressed down, and the moisture from the wood glue expands them a little bit. You know, I've been contemplating doing some YouTube videos and trying to share some of my knowledge and experience with people. If there's any topics that you would be interested in, please subscribe and comment, and I would be glad to make a video of that. Hopefully, as I'm learning how to do this, I don't normally talk to a camera. I usually just work in a shop all day. I will get better at the whole videography and talking to the camera, and it's a lot harder than I thought it would be, actually. So I do admire people that are good at it. I just haven't gotten there yet, and possibly I never will be, but I'm learning. So I hope you have a great day. I hope this was informative, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Thanks.